What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my betting breakdown video for UFC Paris. We have Benoit Saint-Denis going against Renato Moicano. And yeah, looking forward to this card. Really looking forward to it. I think it's a great card. 14 fights on it. We have an early start time, which I'm looking forward to. These fights are going to end early, which means I'm going to be able to get into some research for Dana White's Contender Series week number 8 and UFC 307. So I love that. And yeah, I love these fights. I think it's a great card. A ton of spots sticking out. Can't wait to break it all down before we do. So if you guys could do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys are liking down in the comments there. And I actually wasn't even going to do a betting breakdown video on the channel this week. I've just been, so behind, and actually posted on Twitter my bets saying I'm not doing a betting breakdown video. And then I'm like, man, I should probably just do the video. I'm extremely tired, but I don't want to leave, the YouTube peeps hanging. So yeah, the bets have been posted on Twitter and all that, but I still wanted to get on here, just, do the video. To the best of my ability, even though I'm running on 0 hours of sleep. So sometimes you gotta do it. You gotta do it, and that's what I'm doing here. But yeah, lots to talk about. 14 fights. Like I said, a ton of spots sticking out. So yeah, let's get into it, guys. All right, first fight of the card: Balaji Oki going against Chris Duncan. Oki minus 180, Chris Duncan plus 155. For me here, if I was betting Oki, I think I'd rather just bet the knockout prop. It's not the best price in the world, though. It's like plus 110, plus 120. I'm picking Oki. I was very close to actually taking the Duncan money line shot, but I went back and watched some of Duncan's fights, and it's like, this guy's so hittable. 49% strike and defense. He's walking into punches, and Oki does hit hard. So I would lean towards Oki, but if this fight does go the distance, I have a feeling it could be like a close fight where, Duncan has some success, maybe getting some takedowns, maybe doing some cage pushing, but I'm going to pick Oki to win. Just no bet from me on that one. Next, we got Jacqueline Cavalcanti going against Nora Cornhole. Yeah, I mean, this is a dog or pass fight for sure. I mean, I don't see how, Cavalcanti looks minus 200. Could she win? Sure. But I think it's going to be a close fight. I think it's a close fight. Cornhole's going to be the hometown fighter. I think we could get some very interesting scorecards in this fight and in general on this card. So if anything, I'd be looking at the plus money on Cornhole. I'm not high on either fighter at all, especially Cornhole. With that said, though, after the Mullins fight, she is kind of growing on me a little bit. I think she's making improvements, but I don't know. This seems like it just has split decision written all over it. So another fight I'm not too interested in from a betting perspective. But if I was, it'd be a dog shot. Next, we got Victor Altamirano going against Daniel Perez. Yeah, a couple spots sticking out here. I like the fight doesn't go to decision. It's plus a 200. I have one unit on it, and it's like, Daniel Perez has not been to a decision in a very long time. Daniel Perez, we saw it in his fight with Jafel Filho. He's going to come out there, balls to the wall, and we kind of saw him look for the door in that Filho fight in the late first round, might I add. But yeah, this guy Perez, he's very dangerous, has a ton of power, has this good submission ability as well. And although Victor Altamirano's not dangerous at all, if Perez does slow down, gas out, like we could see an Altamirano late finish type thing. So I'm kind of seeing it as Perez early or Altamirano late, and it's one of those spots where it's like, does the fight doesn't go hit? Maybe not, but I mean, just with the way Perez fights, it's like, how I don't understand why it is where it is at plus 200. So I'm taking the big plus money on the fight doesn't go to decision for one unit in this one, hoping for some violence, and Perez brings violence, is what he does. Moving on, we got Eileen Perez going against Daria Zelnikova. Yeah, so Eileen Perez showed up on the scales, and she looked awful. She missed weight by half a pound. She was doing a lot of shaking, and then when she was walking away from the scale, she was shaking as well. Not a great look whatsoever, and I think that's going to draw some people to Zelnikova. But with that said, though, I mean, we saw her at the ceremonial weigh-ins, and she looked perfectly fine. So it's like, these fighters, they have tough cuts, they rehydrate, they recover, and I think she'll be fine personally. How I'm seeing the fight is, I like Perez here. I like her quite a bit. Prior to her almost dying on the scale, I was actually looking to maybe parlay her up. One thing that stuck out to me, I wasn't going to bet this fight, but I was looking at the props for this fight, I was looking at maybe Perez, KO, Perez KO 1-2, and then I saw that Perez round 1-2 in general is plus 510. And it's like I saw Zelnikova get taken down by Melissa Mullins, aka Melissa Dixon, and she was finished like shortly after via ground and pound. Like I really don't think Zelnikova's ground game off her back is good at all. And Perez, she's had some close opportunities to finish in some of these fights. She dropped Jocelyn Edwards in the second round. She was very close to, finishing one of her other opponents. Forget who it was, but yeah, she's had some close opportunities to finish, some of these fighters. And if Zelnikova's ground game is as bad as it looked in the Mullins fight, because it looked awful, I think that Perez can get into a dominant position and potentially finish this fight at plus 510. So the thing that worries me, I mean, it's a plus 510, but the thing that worries me is, Perez just doesn't really seem to have much finishing ability. Her ground and pound, she'll go for it, but it's not that vicious. But yeah, if she can get into mount or something, maybe she can pound out Zelnikova there. So, despite the terrible look at the weigh-ins, I still like Perez to win this fight. I think at the very least, she wins the first 2 rounds, maybe drops the third. I was also looking at the fight doesn't go to decision after the weigh-ins because I think, Perez, she's live for a finish early, and if this fight gets to the third round, we've seen her get into some bad spots. So, yeah, kind of don't mind violence in this one as well at a big plus money price tag. Next, we got Taylor Lapilus going against Vince Morales. Yeah, for me, it's pretty simple. It's Taylor Lapilus by decision. I think it's a pretty easy pick here. Morales, he's tough, he's durable, but I think he's going to be outskilled here in France. Should go to the hometown guy, whether it's close or not, but I don't think it's going to be relatively close. It should be Lapilus by decision here. No bet. I mean, I'm not laying minus 165 on a decision prop. Next, we got Ludovic Klein going against Roosevelt Roberts. This line is wild, and quite frankly, a lot of these lines are wild on this card. Like, Klein should not be minus 1,000. We'll talk about Umar Sy. He shouldn't be minus 600. Like, some of these lines are just getting out of control, and this is certainly one of them. You got to pick Klein here. I can't pick Roberts to win this fight. I was looking at maybe the over 1.5, maybe even over 2.5, but the Kevin Kroom fight is permanently in my brain. How do you get finished in 60 seconds by Kevin Kroom? So I don't know. I mean, there's just nothing that's sticking out. I mean, Klein inside the distance is minus 190. That's not that great. It's just a pass for me. Yeah, Klein should win, but that's not a hot take. Umar Sy going against Da Woon Jung. Kind of the same thing here. It's this price tag's blown out. In no way, shape, or form should C be minus 625. Although I'm so low on Jung, it's just how's this guy this big of a favorite? So the money line's blown out. I had subs circled for this fight, but the sub's only plus 130. You look at the round props; they're all terrible as well. So I think it's C. It's just when does he win this fight? Does he win it in the first round, the second round, the third? Does he win a dominant decision? I don't know, but I think he wins this fight. It's just you got to decide when or how, and these props aren't great at all. So it's a pass for me, but C should win this fight, but there's just nothing sticking out. I mean, plus 130 for a sub prop. He could TKO Jung. He could win it 30-27 decision. So it's I'm fine with passing on it. Moving on, we got Ion Kudalaba going against Ivan Erzlan. I wasn't going to bet this fight, but the more I think about it, the more I think that, Kudalaba, he just always seems to find a way to lose. And in this fight, it's Ivan Erzlan, he hits like a truck. We've seen Kudalaba knocked out before. We've seen him hurt before. We've seen him go out there and wrestle and gas himself out and get finished in the second. And that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Ivan Erzlan has 10 knockout wins. All 10 of them come in the first round. I was thinking about maybe betting the first round knockout prop. But the more I thought about it, the more I think that maybe Kudalaba goes out there and does the thing where he wrestles for 5 minutes like he did in the Jacoby fight, cut 8 takedowns, or the Kennedy fight, and has success, and then the second round comes around and he's just exhausted. He has nothing left, and Erzlan finishes him in the second. So instead of taking the first round knockout prop, I'm just taking Erzlan KO plus 155 for 1 unit. I think that's his win condition. I think he hits like a truck. I think Kudalaba, we've seen him hurt. We've seen him gas out. Give me Erzlan to win this fight by knockout. 1 unit plus 155. Next, we got Farazim going against Matt Frivola. I ended up taking the dog shot here on Matt Frivola at plus 112. for 1 unit. I just feel like he has more ways to win this fight. I think that's kind of undeniable. Like, I guess the big thing for me is, what is the game plan going to be for Matt Frevola? I think the path to least resistance is, hey, let's take down Farazayam, who was taken down 8 times somehow, some way by Claudio Poyas. Like, we haven't seen it in a while. We haven't seen it in literally 5 years, but Matt Frevola is a very, very good wrestler. We saw him take down Jalen Turner for 3 rounds. We saw him take down Luis Pena for 3 rounds and win both those fights by decision. Why can't he take down Farazayam for 3 rounds and win a decision here? I think that's very much on the table for Frevola. I think if he does that, this underdog bet is going to look phenomenal. If he doesn't do that, if he goes out there and stands and bangs with Farazayam, would I like him to do that? No, but can he win that fight? Yeah, he can. This guy knocked out Drew Dober. I mean, Matt Frevola has a ton of power, so I just feel like Matt Frevola can win this fight by knockout. I feel like Matt Frevola can win this fight by decision. I feel like Frevola could win this fight by submission. Like, Zayam's been subbed 3 times, so he's plus money. He's plus money. I know he's going against the hometown guy. Zayam is the better striker, but I just feel like, Frevola has a lot of ways to win this fight. And again, plus money. Give me the 1 unit shot on the dog. Next, we got Morgan Charrier going against Gabriel Miranda. Yeah, so this is a kind of a spot where it's bit me a lot this year. It's like the obvious play here is Miranda sub 1. It's plus 2,800 if you're on Miranda. Even if you're not on Miranda sub 1. That's his win condition, I think. I didn't play it personally because, again, these spots just aren't cashing this year. But, yeah, Charrier KO 2-3 makes a ton of sense. It makes too much sense. And I'm playing it, so he probably knocks out Miranda in the first round. But I'm hoping it is 2-3, right? Like, we saw Miranda at the very least survive a round against Benoit Saint-Denis. And Charrier is not some murderous finisher. Charrier actually goes to decision a ton. But we also see Charrier, when he is finishing fights, it does come in round 2 or round 3 for the most part. And I can just see him breaking down Miranda as the fight goes on, dropping him here or there, and eventually finishing him. I think Miranda's going to have a very hard 5 minutes. I don't think he's getting Charrier out of there. And then once that second round hits, I think Charrier is going to start to really put it on him and finishing him. I'm thinking the second round, but if not the second, then the third. So that's what I'm playing. I'm playing Charrier, KO 2-3. Makes a ton of sense. We'll see if they hit there. But yeah, 0.75 units on KO2, plus 420, and then 0.5 units on KO3, plus 850 for me. Next, we got Brian Battle going against Kevin Jousset. Brian Battle, minus 165, Jousset, plus 145. I know a lot of people taking the dog shot on Jousset. I kind of get it. I'm personally picking Battle here just because I feel like he has more ways to win. And I also think that Brian Battle is making like rapid improvements. Like, you go fight by fight with Brian Battle, and it's like each time this guy steps in the cage, he's just leveled up, and maybe we see even more improvements out of Battle here. So yeah, I mean, I do think this fight could be close, though. It could be competitive, but give me Brian Battle. But the line, I think it's either accurate or maybe even a little bit too wide, to be honest. But yeah, give me Battle by decision, no bet. Next, we got Joe Anderson Brito going against William Gomi. For me, it's like this should be Brito all day, every day. I'm not sure how Gomi wins this fight. It kind of feels like a trap because it's like, how does Gomi win this fight? The answer to that is by doing nothing, because that's how Gomi wins all his fights, by literally doing nothing. I think this guy might be a hypnotist because he goes out there, he does nothing, but his opponents also do nothing. What I'm hoping here is, Brito doesn't really strike me as the guy who's going to get hypnotized and go out there and do nothing. Brito's an absolute killer. So Gomi's going to try to run away the best he can. He's going to try to not fight. He's going to try to not do anything. But, Brito's going to run after him, close the distance, and eventually grab him. I think him, drag him down to the mat. And once he does, we've seen Gomez put in some very bad spots on the mat against Francis Marshall. Almost got subbed twice in the third round. Like, even against Jarno Aaron's almost had him out of there via submission. So I just feel like there's going to be a big levels difference once Brito gets his fight down to the mat. So yeah, I'm on Brito inside the distance, 1.5 units at plus 115. It feels too easy. It feels like a trap. I don't know. I really think Brito should go out there and smoke this dude. I truly believe that, but Gomes just finds a way. He finds a way to win fights via doing nothing. It's really weird, but I'm hoping Brito doesn't let that happen. Next, we got Nazarene Imavov going against Brendan Allen. Imavov minus 210, Allen plus 180. Yeah, didn't bet anything here, but I'm picking Imavov. I think he is actually live for a knockout potentially as well. The knockout props like plus 200, but yeah, gonna sit back and watch this one. I just don't want to go against Brendan Allen right now. Brendan Allen is very hot in terms of his career. He's not the best looking guy, but yeah, he's hot. He's on like a 7 or 8 fight winning streak for sure. And I just don't want to go against him right now. And also, Allen is a guy that I feel like he can potentially have a lot of success if he chooses to wrestle here. The problem with Allen is he just doesn't do that. When you want Allen to wrestle, when you most expect him to, he doesn't. And so I kind of feel like he might just go out there and strike with Imavov here for 15 minutes. If he does that, he might get knocked out or lose a decision. But yeah, nothing really sticking out here. Next, we got Benoit Saint Denis going against Renato Moicano. We got Saint Denis minus 275, Moicano plus 1 or plus 235. Yeah, I'm on the Saint Denis side. I think the money line, it's certainly wide. It's a little disrespectful, but how I'm playing it, how I'm getting the price tag down is I'm betting Benoit Saint Denis to win in rounds 1, 2, or 3, minus 125 for 1.25 units. All of his wins come in the first 3 rounds. I'm pretty sure all of his wins come in the first 2 rounds, but getting that extra round in there just in case. So I think Saint Denis is going to be too dangerous here. He's too powerful. The body kicks, the head kick, the power in his hands. Moicano, the chin's always been an issue for forever. He's getting up there in age. He's taken a lot of damage, took a lot of damage in the Turner fight, got dropped, almost finished there. But yeah, I think Saint Denis does finish this fight within the first 15 minutes. If this fight reaches past that, I think it could get interesting for sure. But yeah, I got to go Saint Denis here. I think he wins this fight, and I think he wins it violently. So there you guys have it. Quick recap here. Saint Denis 1-2-3, 1.25 units, minus 125. Brito inside the distance, 1.5 units, plus 115. Charrier, KO2 and KO3, 0.75 units, KO2 at plus 420, and then 0.5 units, KO3 at plus 850. 1 unit on Matt Frivola at plus 112. 1 unit on Erslan KO, plus 155. Perez to win in rounds 1 or rounds 2, half a unit, plus 510, and then we have Perez Altamirano, fight doesn't go to decision, 1 unit plus 200. Looking for some violence on this card, and yeah, should be a good one though. Best of luck, guys, for UFC Paris, and we will talk to you guys soon. See you later.